Good evening. My name is Michelle, and I'm a reporter for WXYZ TV located in Jerusalem. Tonight I will be conducting some very interesting interviews, talking to people on the hot-button issue of whether Jesus Christ, a local itinerant preacher, should stand trial for charges against him. He is facing two possible charges: speaking irreverently against the temple of God and of encouraging overthrow of the Romans by calling himself a king. Should he be set free or should he stand trial? And if he is tried on these two charges, should he face the Jewish Sanhedrin, the temple's highest court, or should he go before the Roman governor? These are very important issues that will be decided tonight by you, the Jewish people of Jerusalem. Let us begin by interviewing these people who are followers of Jesus, two of his disciples and others who claim he performed miracles. Let's meet our first guest. Welcome to WXYZ TV. Would you please tell everyone your full name and occupation?
I am Peter of Cephas, and I am a fisherman.
How do you know Jesus?
I know Jesus because while I was fishing, he came up to me and offered something to me.
What did he offer to you?
Jesus offered to let me fish for men instead of being a fisherman.
A fisher of men? What does that mean?
Fishing for men would mean I would be teaching others Jesus' word.
Jesus is accused of speaking irreverently against the temple. Witnesses claim that Jesus said, "I can destroy the temple of God and within 3 days rebuild it." Do you think he can do that?
I strongly believe he can do it. He is a man of miracles.
You spent a lot of time with Jesus, often in private. Has he ever shared with you that he wants to build a new temple and that he would then be king?
He has often mentioned it, but said he is going to be a king of another world.
Has Jesus told your group of disciples that the Roman government is unjust and needs a new leader?
No, Jesus has never spoken a word of that.
Thank you. Would you please tell everyone your name and occupation?
My name is Andrew, brother of Simon, and I am a fisherman.
How do you know Jesus?
Well, one day I saw him walking by the lake of Galilee as I was fishing, and he said to my brother and I, "Come and follow me. I will make you fishermen for men." And we followed him.
How do you know our first guest, Peter?
Peter is my brother who I've known all my life.
Did Peter convince you to join the disciples?
No, I became a disciple of my own free will, and I've decided for myself to follow Jesus and need no convincing, but my own, only by what I believe and know.
Have you seen Jesus do miracles?
Yes, I've seen him heal people, and also he took 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish and fed 5,000 people, and he had 12 baskets of food left over, and he turned water into wine.
If Jesus is able to do these miracles, isn't that being irreverent toward God?
No, he said he's doing God's bidding and is following his Father, who is God, creator of heaven and earth.
If Jesus is able to do miracles, isn't that being irreverent toward God?
No, he said he's doing God's bidding and is following his Father, who is God, creator of heaven and earth.
Jesus seems to have a lot of followers. Is he planning to take over the Roman government?
No, his kingdom is from another place and not of this world, and doesn't want to take over any government, for he is the king of the Jews and is the spiritual leader, and he has his own kingdom.
Thank you. Would you please share with us your name and occupation?
My name is Lazarus, and I live in Bethany. Jesus is my friend. My sisters have spent a lot of time with him.
Okay. How do you know Jesus?
Jesus brought me back to life.
We were told that you died, but you look very much alive to me. What happened?
Jesus heard that I was sick and planned to come to Bethany By the time he got there, I had died. He brought me back to life when he came 4 days later. My sisters lifted the stone, and Jesus yelled out, "Come out," and I came back to life.
Do you really think you were dead? Or maybe you just passed out?
I was sure I was dead.
That's quite an amazing miracle. Don't you think people would want to make Jesus a king when they hear about that?
Jesus is not a person who wants money or power. He is a king of love and kindness.
What is your name and occupation?
My name is Nicodemus, and I'm one of the Pharisees. I am a member of the Jewish ruling council.
How do you know Jesus?
I came to Jesus because I've heard of all the miracles that he is doing.
You are a Pharisee, and Jesus doesn't seem to like the Pharisees very much. Why do you still follow him?
I follow him because I want to know why Jesus said that a man must be born again. I wanted to know why Jesus said that people need to be baptized.
When Jesus says negative things about the Pharisees who believe in the law of Moses, does that mean he doesn't respect God?
No, he respects God, but Jesus said that the Pharisees do not understand what God is trying to tell them. Jesus is trying to teach us about the real truth about God.
Do you think we need to be concerned about Jesus forming a group to overtake the Roman government?
No, we should not be concerned because Jesus was concerned about the kingdom of God. He was not concerned about human governments.
Thank you. Please tell us your name.
My name's Elizabeth, the Palm Sunday woman.
How do you know Jesus?
I heard a lot of people talking about Jesus, so I decided to check it out, and I saw him riding into town.
When Jesus rode into Jerusalem, what was he riding?
I saw Jesus riding a donkey, and I thought he was a king because they laid palms down for him, which they only do for kings.
Is that an animal that a ruler or a king usually rides?
The regional custom calls for kings and nobles arriving in procession to ride on the back of a donkey. I think Jesus chose a donkey because it's a sign of peace.
Did Jesus or his followers ask you to cheer for him that day?
There were a lot of people happy to see Jesus, so they were cheering, but nobody asked me to cheer.
Did Jesus ask you to tell others about this event?
No, I just saw a crowd of people in the palms, so I was excited to see who was coming. Before this, I heard nothing about the event.
Please tell us your full name and your occupation.
My name is Herod, and I am the king of Judea.
How do you know Jesus?
Since his birth, Jesus was serious talk. Rumors regarding his so-called royalty and power have been flying ever since he entered this world. Although I didn't actually meet him until recently, it's hard not to know Jesus. He's well known, famous if you will.
Did you hear about Jesus as you were growing up?
I heard more about Jesus as he was growing up. There's not a doubt in my mind that everyone knows his name, but I, unlike most, did something about the preposterous rumors. 3 men were on their way to see him, so I asked them to tell me his location as soon as they reached him. I wanted to see this infant king of the Jews. But the men betrayed me and didn't return. They stayed and worshipped him like a king. I knew then and there that he was a threat, so I set an order to kill all babies in the Bethlehem area at age 2 or younger. I couldn't chance it. His mere existence threatens my throne.
When did you meet Jesus as a grown man?
After a lot of confusion and storytelling, I managed to meet him when Pilate sent him to me to decide his fate. I was glad and wanted to see one of his miracles, but he didn't perform any at all.
Do you think Jesus wanted to be a king and is a threat to Roman government?
Absolutely. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. He's big talk and a bigger threat.
Please tell us your name.
I am known as the woman at the well.
How do you know Jesus?
I met him at Jacob's Well, and he asked me for a drink of water and then offered me some of his own.
Jesus first asked you, a Samaritan woman, for a drink of water. Then what kind of water did he offer you?
He offered me living water. He said if I drink the water, I will never be thirsty again. He said it would give me eternal life.
Did Jesus ask you to tell everyone in town about what he had said?
No, I was just so excited about finding the Messiah that I had to share.
Many townspeople came to believe in Jesus. Do you believe he could be a king?
Yes, he told me everything about my life. I don't know how he could possibly have known. He told me everything I've ever done.
Thank you. Your name and your occupation?
My name's Kanake. I haven't been able to work because my hand has been crippled.
How do you know Jesus?
I'm a follower of Jesus.
Where were you when he healed your hand?
I was feeling sad, so I went to pray at the synagogue. He told me to reach my hand out and it healed.
What day of the week was it?
It was Sunday when it happened.
If Jesus healed on the Sabbath, when Jews are to do no work, is that being irreverent toward God?
Well, we've always been told not to work on the Sabbath, so yes.
Thank you. What is your name and your occupation?
My name, rightfully given, is Gaspar, and I'm a wise man.
How do you know Jesus?
I and 2 other wise men came from the far east to Jerusalem when Jesus was born to worship him.
Are you from this area?
No, I'm from the far west, so that's why I said I had to travel east to see the young Lord.
Why did you make the long trip just to see a baby?
Because he's the King of the Jews, and I worship him, and just that alone is a good enough reason to travel far from home.
Even though you have not seen him in many years, do you believe he is a king?
Yes, otherwise we would not be having this conversation and asking me such a silly question. He is the King of the Jews, ruler of an everlasting kingdom.
Do you think he is planning to overthrow the Roman government?
No, Jesus is just a ruler and a king of spiritually, not like the Roman Empire, for he does not force people to believe.
Thank you. Please tell us your name and occupation.
My name is Garland, also known as the money changer, which is a person whose business is exchanging currency for another.
How do you know Jesus?
I know Jesus because he bursted into the temple and drove all of my customers out.
When Jesus came to the temple and drove out all of the people selling and buying things, did he explain why he did that?
He did explain why. His reasoning was that his house was a house of prayer and that we were making it a den of robbers.
Did he say anything about destroying the temple and rebuilding it?
Yes, he did say something about building it again in 3 days, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Do you think that Jesus did this so people would want him to be the king?
Why, of course. Why else wouldn't he? He is a king of drunks. That is the king he is.
Thank you.